Good morning students. Myself Jancy. So today I am here to explain you what is mathematics. Let us see the word mathematics here. So how many letters are there? First you have to calculate. There are 11 letters are there. And what are there in the word mathematics? That is, when I ask the question, you will say that just it is a word. But when we think in a other way, so mathematics has a number of ways of explaining. It gives the fun also, it gives the heart touching feeling also, students. Now, what is the fun here? So I can ask the question like this. He stands between two mats and he is ICS holder. Who is he? You can give the answer, I feel. Observe here. He stands between two mats and he is ICS holder. Don't you think that it is mathematics? You can see the word MA, that is Ma. Is it not with love? You will call your mother as Ma. So, maths is considered as the mother or queen of all sciences because mother give birth and she is the main source from where the life begins. Same is with math, students. Without it, another science subject can be studied. It is a language of science. Mathematics is the door and key to all sciences. Mathematics has a number of very useful benefits to our mind if we go into its study. It develops our reasonings, helps us to have analytical thinking, students, and quickens our mind. Math is the only place where the truth and beauty mean the same thing. And if you learn math, we can see that in a nature. But nature itself explains the beauty of mathematics. And what we get from the math is one can improve concentration, patience as well as logics, students. So with that, we can see what and all we can learn from the mathematics. Some things you might have studied already, but what you are going to study in our first PUC, you will observe now. Now let us see the definition of mathematics, students. The term mathematics is derived from two Greek words, that is manthen, which means learning, and techne, an art of technique. So, mathematics means the art of learning related to disciplines. In other words, mathematics is defined as science of quantity and measurement and also special relation. So, let us see some of the uses in daily life of maths. So, cooking, sports, finding distance and length, navigation, banking and shopping, gardening, architecture. All this you know it, students. Let us see in cooking. What is the practical knowledge one should have is ratio and proportion. That comes by experience also, students. But see here, making coffee, tea, milk, the quantity, we require the knowledge of ratio and proportion. And also cooking food like breakfast, lunch, dinner needs a clear knowledge of proportion for preparation to have good taste and more salt, chili, etc. And also while cooking a recipe, we need to have a check on the amount of ingredient and correct measures, unless our recipe will result in a blunder. Next, you all like this, I feel. So what is this? Cake. To prepare cake also, don't you think that we need some ratio as well as proportion? If, observe here, if you want to make a cake of 1 kg, but the recipe book, there is a recipe of 2 kg of cake, then the idea of proportionality is important, isn't it? Let us see in sports. What is the knowledge we want is knowledge of probability. That is what you are going to study in our second PUC, students, and mensuration and statistics. Now here, mathematical concept can be applied when one wants to comment about the game. So when we toss in a game, The probability used as there is an equal chance of getting head or tail, that is you have observed in the cricket match. Now, referees and coaches make calls which are based on time. So, here time factor is also very, very important. We can compare failure and success rate by collecting data of all the past game played. This can only be done using some aspects of maths. And to make the field of correct measure, we need the good knowledge of mensuration, students. So, whatever game you can observe, there should be a time and well as the counting, that is important. Observe here some of the geometry in sports also. So, that is to design a sports ground as well as sports equipment, geometrical shapes only we are going to use. Observe here javelin throw. It's a rod, just we feel, is it not? It is a line segment, that means a straight line. And come to here the tracks, is it not? It is in which shape? It is a oval. Later you are going to study some sections of conics also, and observe here it is a sphere. Now come to the finding distance and length. So, what is the practical knowledge of trigonometry, students? You all know what is the use of trigonometry also, but observe, to find the height of the building we are going to use the trigonometry. So, later angle of elevation and depression, you know it. If one can start from here and observe the top of the building, and if we observe this distance also, we can make out the height of the building. Now, mass is used in navigation, and the practical knowledge of coordinate geometry we are getting from this. Concept is widely used while working with the graphic designing software, and we often use it to navigate a city or to locate objects in a grid. You know that GPS also, in that we are going to use the mass concept. When geocaching, or we use latitude and longitude. Astronomers use sky coordinates to locate objects of interest. So, most of the astronomy depends on coordinate geometry as well as trigonometry. And also we are commonly used in banking and shopping. Observe, what is the practical knowledge over there is percentage and interest. When you go to the bank, we speak the loan, and loan is nothing but depends on the interest it is. So, when we visit the supermarkets to buy items, purchasing decisions require and some understanding of the budgets and the cost we have to concentrate. Transaction of money also, and stock and bonds, EMI and loan, interest paid on loan, interest paid by the bank, etc. can be done by using the knowledge of maths. Now, what you can say is gardening. Don't you feel that a warm feeling with this? So, observe the gardening. So, whatever we are doing, so there mensuration is important, that is measurement is important. So, even doing something as gardening requires a basic math skill here. If you need to plant or sow new seeds or seedlings, you need to make a row or count them out or even make holes there. Now, measuring a skill is always needed, and calculation of the essence when doing something new in the garden, that is required. Then only our garden looks nice. Why we learn higher mathematics is because of this reason, that is architecture, students. Now observe, here we are using the knowledge of mensuration, geometry and also symmetry. So observe this building, that is Taj Mahal, as well as the swimming pool and also this building. What is actually here it is? So we can observe area of differently sized and shaped lands can be found through the application of area formulas, and also Pythagoras theorem is also used. Is it not? You are familiar, and also very known formula, and also symmetrical and geometrical concepts have been applied in the construction of some famous monuments such as Taj Mahal, etc. students, because you can observe that some temples as well as some buildings, so the pattern as well as the building structure is so nice. All those things will be designed by the engineers. So when they design, they should know the knowledge of mathematics it is. Now move on to the symmetry in nature. Not only maths is there in our book, it is there in the nature. That is the reason math says the truth, students. So observe here. Symmetry in nature. So this is a peacock here, and what is the symmetry is, if you just take this one and you are going to study the symmetric concept in the biology also. So observe this part and this part is same, then only is it not, it looks so beautiful. And come to the flower also. If you do it like this, that is symmetric part, that side and this side it is same. So even the petals also, observe students, such a nice arrangement it is. Now here there are symmetry, that is man-made things. Observe this one, it looks very beautiful, but observe the symmetricity of this one. Again this building, that side and this side, you observe the size and also whatever the structure they are used, it is symmetry. That is the reason it looks so beautiful. And now we can see mass is used in the cell phone also. Simple example I have taken, when you call, is it not you are pressing the numbers. So that is the reason you are going to use the mass. There the word sequence is there, and also you can see the pattern also, student. Next, you can see in these logos somewhere. What is this one? It can be seen in the Olympics, and this and all you can see in the cars also. So mathematical structures or shapes are used in the logos also. This is, we can say that it is elliptic shape or it is sphere, and that is also, and here circles are used. Observe here, and also here, all this are, when you take it, straight line is also there and also circle is there. So mathematical shapes are used everywhere. Use of geometry in travel, you can observe here. Invention of wheel was one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Today, it is used in most forms of travel in one or the other way, students. So observe here, this is a car. You can say that it is a car, but mathematically if you observe, there are rectangles is also there, circular pattern also there. So here you can observe that. Even in the flight also, and also bike, we can observe circular pattern here also, and in the helicopter also, and train. All this uses one or the other means of maths it is. Now, everyone likes to listen music. Music and mathematics goes together, students. So here, use of geometry in music. Now, instruments with segments in the form of strings, that is used in this, and also you can observe this is a circular pattern over here, and also strings are here, and cuboidal system is applied over here in the harmonium. Now, come to the earth. We are already in the earth, and what is the geometry in earth is, earth is perfect shape for minimizing the pull of gravity on its outer edges, a sphere shape. Observe, such a nice creation it is. Geometry is the branch of maths that describes such shapes it is. Now, this concept, students, you can see in the nature, such a beautiful numbers we can observe, and that is called Fibonacci spiral it is. Fibonacci numbers means 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. What is that? If you add 1 to the previous, we are going to get a succeeding number. Observe here, 1 plus 1, this gives 2, and this 2 and 1 gives 3, 2 and 3 gives, answer is 5, goes on like that. So, if you construct a series of squares with the lengths equal to the Fibonacci numbers and trace a line through the diagonals of each square, it forms Fibonacci spiral. Now, Many examples of the Fibonacci spiral can be seen in the nature. Observe. This is a cactus. You can observe such a pattern as well as the sequence is given in that, and also all this, and this is a fruit here you can observe, and this is a flower. So, all this will have a Fibonacci spiral. Now, you can observe the pattern in mathematics. It is just a pattern, students. Just observe how it is arranged. Here there are 4 dots are there. Here there are 4 dots in all the sides. The patterns we can use in the tiles also. And here also observe, this is forms in the woolen, and this is just a circle, and you can give the example for concentric circles. So, this is the pattern of mathematics here. And observe the pattern goes like this also. This pattern you can observe, and also what is this one? This is the honeycomb. So, what is this shapes you can observe here? It forms a hexagonal shape each block. So, is it not, it is naturally made by the honey. And this one spider web, see the pattern how they made. So, is it not, it is an orderly arrangement, students. Come to the biological field. So, is it not, this is the naturally grown cactus. So, how you can see such a nice pattern you can observe. Now, I have given one calendar here. So, that is 2020 June. If I ask the question, what is this? You are just saying that it is a calendar with numbers. So, when I ask with the math students, you can say that it is an arrangement of a numbers, and it is also called as a matrix, that is rectangular arrangement, one thing. Another is, have you observed here one pattern we can see, students? Observe only these 9 boxes here. So, what you can observe is 9 you keep it in the middle, observe this number and this number, add 15 and 3, what is the sum we get? 18. Add this 17 and 1, what is the number we are getting? 18. Again add 8 and 10, the number we are getting is 18. So, is it not, it is a double of this number 9. So, same way observe here, when we go to the 12 here, and observe this and also this one, 11 plus 13 will give the answer, that is sum 24 it is, again 18 and 6 it is 24, and 4 and 20 it is 24, and it is a double of this number. Is it not, this is one of the pattern we have, and wherever we see something we have to say it in mathematical way. So, we will be getting something here, students. Now, look this pattern, and we call it as a clock pattern only. Now, what you can see from this, if you move from this side, we call it as a clockwise direction. If you move from this, we call it as a anti-clockwise direction. Now, what is the pattern behind here is, mathematically we can see this one as, look at here, 12 is here, 11 and 1 you observe added to 12, students, 10 and 2 it is also added to 12, 9 and 3 you add to 12, 8, 4 add to 12, 7 and 5 also the sum is 12. Another way is, you add 12 and 1, that is 13, 11 and 2 13, 10 and 3 it is 13, as well as 9 and 4 it is 13, 8 and 5 it is 13, and also 7 and 6 it is 13. That is a pair of numbers are there which gives the number, that is sum 13 as well as 12 here. At the same time, let us see the difference. 12 minus 6, what is the difference we have? 6 it is. Same way, 11 and 5, what is the difference we have is, again it is 6, 10 and 4 6, 9 and 3, the difference is 6, 8 and 2 6, 7 and 1, that is 6. This is the way of observing something. If you observe something, students, we are get many logic behind some patterns it is. That is what the maths. Yes, students. Now, let us see what are the syllabus we have in our first PUC it is. First chapter is sets, relation function, third is trigonometry, fourth is principle of mathematical induction, complex numbers and quadratic equations, linear inequalities, permutation and combination, binomial theorem, sequence and series, straight lines, conic sections, introduction to three-dimensional geometry, limits and derivative, mathematical reasoning, statistics and probability. So, let us see what is the simple concepts under this. Later in detail we are going to do the chapter, students. Now, first is set theory. Set theory mainly based on number system, that is theory of sets. You might have heard saying that set of natural numbers, real numbers, complex numbers, like this we have. This is a set of numbers we are going to study, and their operations we are going to study, students, and also some problems about Venn diagrams and how it is applied in the space also, that is two-dimensional as well as three-dimensional also. So, we are using the intersection, union as well as negative, equivalent and not A or not B, like that we can observe in the set theory. And also some operations, that is you can have only set A means mentioned like this, and also A complement, that means only not A, that means rest all we are going to study, and this is the disjoint sets are there, and also a proper subsets here. Intersection means it is shown here, and also either A or B or union of A union B we are going to study. All this comes under the first chapter, students. Next is we will move on to the second chapter. The word itself says, or a heading is relation and functions. You can observe here relation set is a big set and function is a small set. That means it is, we call it as function is a subset of relation. With this we can understand every relation need not be a function, but every function can be a relation. So, in this chapter you are going to learn about domain and range, and this is the very vast subject and also very important in our second PUC as well as first PUC. This is the function. What is the simple definition of a function? Every element of set A is associated with unique element of set B. That is the definition of the function. Different types are there. All those things you are going to study in this chapter. Next chapter is trigonometry. The name itself indicates here, let us divide like this. Tri means 3, gono means angle, metry means measurement. So, 3 angle measurement where we are going to study in the triangle. So, study of triangle and which relates to sides and angles, we call it as trigonometry. Observe these figures. Here you can make the angle between the side of this person as well as the object, and if a person looks from here to here downwards means we call it as the angle of depression. At the same time we know that angle of elevation is also there. Here look at, this is angle of elevation, we can find out the height of the tree also. At the same time come to here, students. What is this person doing? He is throwing a short boat. So, when you throw the short boat, you should observe it has to reach a maximum height, means there is also a math, student. If you throw with the angle of 45 degree and it will reach the maximum distance. So, that concept you will be learning in the games also, students. Observe, next chapter is mathematical induction. What you are going to study is a inductive hypothesis, or it is, we can say like this, if these are the sequences given or assumptions made, if one is true, second one is true, the other is also true. That is what the concept behind here. Observe here, if I just push this one and it touches the second block, and it will tend to fall, and you can observe this one. And if we observe, if the difference in the first, it affects for the second, like that. So, what is the mathematical induction says is, if the first statement is true, then second statement is true, we can assume that nth statement is also true. And observe this block also. This one you might have played in using the cards also, students. Now let us see the chapter complex number and quadratic equation. When we are using this chapter is when quadratic equation has the roots which cannot be getting the real numbers. We may get some other values, that is, we know that quadratic equation will be solved by the formula x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and b square minus 4ac we call it as a discriminant, and if that discriminant is less than 0, you might have heard that we are saying that imaginary will be solved by this chapter. So I stands for root of minus 1 and I square will be equals to minus 1. And this one we are using, observe here, imaginary numbers are used in the real world. Engineers use them to describe electrical currents. You can observe this. And I is root of minus 1. Maths is used in permutation and combination concept. What is the permutation? Number of ways the things can be arranged is permutation, and combination is number of ways we can choose the things. And also order matters here, order is not matters here. And also here there are some lists are there here, students, whereas we are using in the groups here. Observe here, I have taken 3, that is alphabets A, B, C. How many ways we can arrange this? We can make A to sit in this place, C to in this, and also B. Like that I can make 6 ways. So that can be done in like this. 3 words are given means are 3 letters, that is 3 factorial ways we can arrange. Observe the other pattern also, A, B, D also 3 numbers we can arrange in 6 ways. Now come to this board, is it not? It is a chess board. My question is, how many squares are there? How many rectangles are there? So you have to start counting like this. So one can directly say that there are 64 squares are there. Even observe, student, if you take it this way also, this is a square. If you consider the 2 rows also and also 2 columns, it is a rectangle. It is likewise there are many. That is the reason we use here combination. So just count the vertical lines here. There are 9 vertical lines are there. For vertical lines we require horizontal lines are 2. Hence observe here the number of rectangle possible is this way as well as this way. If you consider 9c2 into 9c2, and that gives 1092 it is. And number of squares in this, the same way you can calculate and find out, it is 204 it is. Next move on to the topic, that is binomial theorem. So what we are going to study, students? In your lower grades you might have studied the formula a plus b the whole square, a plus b whole cube. So observe here, a plus b means just a and b is there, a plus b the whole square means blocks are kept like this. Whereas a plus b whole to the power 4 means you can observe the cubes over here. Now what and all you can observe here is just observe the coefficient of this one, that is 3 here, 3 here, 4 here, 6 here, 4. And we are going to use one pattern. That pattern we call it as the Pascal's triangle, that is given by like this. 1 we keep as it is, that and this side 1 and 1. So 1 and add this 2, it becomes 2 and 1. Now 1, 3, 3, 1. How we are going to get 1 and 2 add up, that is 3, 2 and 1, that is 3. So observe 1, 4, 6, 4 and 1. How you have obtained 1 and 3 will give the answer, that is add, the sum is 4. Same way 3 and 3 it is 6, 3 and 1 added to 4 it is. So this type of a triangles we call it as a Pascal triangle, and that becomes the coefficient of our expansions here. And with this what we can study is even we can expand a plus b whole to the power 100 also easily. Observe. Maths is used in sequence and series. That means the same examples we can observe. One is honeycomb. So how it is the pattern you can make out that is nothing but the sequence way they have arranged. Hexagonal pattern is here. And also look at the rays here. So is it not sequentially it is moving here, and observe the plant how it has grown. Is it not? It is a sequential order. Now come here. We can make geometrical progression as well as arithmetic progression. What is meant by arithmetic progression? You can say 1 here, 2 here, 3 and also 4 are colored. That means, so the difference between two numbers is 1. That is only one block is colored here. So added together, so we are going to get a arithmetic progression. Come to here. One block is kept here, below that another 2 and double of this, that is 4, and this one's double you can observe, and that is nothing but geometrical sequence. So you can study in this topic. Now conic sections, you might have observed the conical shapes in your daily life. So what are the shapes you can observe if you cut by a plane is? If you cut in this way, you can observe the shape is a circle, and cut the way elliptic order you can observe, and also we can observe the parabolic shapes, and if you cut the corner points it is hyperbola. Students, just it looks a shape, but we are going to study in detail. This circle itself is one of the chapter, and ellipse, hyperbola and also parabola is another chapter. In detail we are going to study, that is used in all our basic sciences as well as technology. Also we require this pattern. Observe some of the patterns we have. Elliptic movement of an orbit, you know that. So how it is moving? Just now I have shown what is ellipse, and elliptic movement means this is the order, the earth orbit it is. Now planetary motion, and you know that in physics you might have studied, or science, the planetary motion is the idea that orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun located on one of the two foci. So what is the foci? That is the midpoint, and afterwards all these are there. So observe, this is elliptic orderly, they are having a movement, students. Now we have co-ordinate geometry, and this is also called as two-dimensional geometry. So just a straight line we say that one dimension, and this is a 2 dimension, whereas a cube we can say that it is 3 dimension. Why? Because volume it will give, length, breadth as well as height is there. That is the reason we call it as 3 dimensional. And in this you can observe x and y axis, or axis we are going to take, and we study in this 2D, and that is also we require for navigation it is. Now 3-dimensional geometry, you might have observed we are saying that 3D also. That means here mathematically we take 3 axes, x axis, y axis and also z axis. Simple way you can observe the corner of the walls. So there all the 3 horizontal lines meet at a point. So likewise, so that is 3-dimensional. That means we have in a 2D 4 quadrants are there. Here we are going to learn about the signs of octants also. Next we have limits and derivative, a vast topic, that is calculus, students. So here look at, sky is the limit and mountain are its derivatives. We say this is all just saying the word, student, but actually what is the limits is, limit is approaching a very small way we say. So where we use the derivative? In physics you might have studied the acceleration, or first is velocity. What is the velocity? Change in the displacement, we call it as the velocity. What is the acceleration? Change in the velocity, we call it as the acceleration. So change in velocity with respect to the time, we call it as the acceleration. So in other words, just observe what is the derivative in daily life we can give. This is the coffee seed. When we powdered it, it becomes its derivative. And also one more derivative of this means we can compare with the coffee. So what happens here is it not this part changes to this one and this changes to this. This rate of change we call it as a derivative, and this is the concept rate of change we use in all the fields of sciences, even in physics, chemistry as well as biology also. Next we have mathematical reasoning. What is mathematical reasoning? We convert the compound statements into mathematical form by using and wherever is there we use the cap notation, and or means this notation V, and also if this arrow mark we are using, and if and only if we use double arrow. For not we are using this symbol. Using this we are making very simple way the sentences. And come to the statistics. That also you have studied bar graph and also pi, and also what is statistics here? It is collection of a raw data and then interpreting and presenting. All this we are going to learn in the statistics. That is later you required in your biology. Now probability. You can observe these figures, students. What is probability? Probability means first the word comes tossing a coin. When you toss a coin, you know that in a coin there are two faces are there, one is tail and head. Falling a tail or falling a head, always it is equal chance. Hence, tossing a coin, the probability is 1/2 it is. There are only probability numbers we have, one is 0 as well as 1. Something is happening sure, we call it as 1, and something is not sure, we don't say that it is half of, we say that it is 0. Now, this is the dice. All you are played with this one, and what is the probability of dice obtaining 5 numbers on one face? That means it is 1/6. What are the possible outcomes we have is 1 to 6 numbers. So out of which 5 appears only once, therefore 5/6, that is we say, but the probability of obtaining a number 5 is 1/6 it is. So likewise we are going to study probability. Now let us see the mass contributions from a famous mathematician. Who is this? You can make out he is Ramanujan, and he has worked on divergent series, that is a higher mathematics, and he was introduced and he was famous by this number. This is a taxi number, students, and what is the speciality of this number is, see here, it is the smallest number which can be expressed as the sum of two cubes in two different ways. So 1729 is also can be written as 1 cube plus 12 cube and also equal to 9 cube plus 10 cube. With this number he is very very famous and he has worked on many other fields also. Now here observe, everyone know who is Aryabhatta, and also one satellite name is also Aryabhatta is there, students. Now observe, he is the first person who has given the number 0 to whole world here, and pi also, the value of pi also he worked on that, that gives 3.14159, and here you can make out Aryabhatta was familiar with the place value system. He has worked on decimal points as well as the other points like pi. He knew numeral symbols and the sign of 0, and he has given the method of addition, subtraction, multiplication of simple and compound algebraic quantities, and also he worked on indeterminate equations. Observe, he also provided the circumference and measurement of the earth and the radius of the orbit of 9 planets. That's the reason we know that the distance of the sun and the moon, sun and the earth, etc., and already it was given by him. Now you should remember some of the dates also, students, how the Maths Day is celebrated. World Mathematics Day is on October 15th. National Mathematics Day is on December 22nd, Pi Day it is March 14th, and Square Root Day it is April 4th, Palindrome Day it is June 10th, and Pythagorean Theorem Day August 15th, and also Fibonacci Day, that is November 23rd it is. Now, on and whole observe, what's a math? It's study of all this. Maths is a study of trigonometry, it is nothing but geometry is also there, arithmetic is also there, and statistics, functions, algebra, probability and calculus. All this are used one or the other way in our daily life. So, we can conclude mathematics like this, students. So, it is the essence of all sciences and also freedom, and its pattern we have to observe and we have to proceed. Wherever we see something, we can see the mathematical pattern over there. So, in your house also you can observe, that is house, all the things in your home. So, first you observe the windows as well as the doors. What shape it has? Is it not? It is most of the places we have rectangular shapes are there. So, we have to concentrate on the shapes also. Though it looks dry subject, students, we have to learn it is, because we have to attend many more exams in future like JEE, CET board exams as well as NDA and NATA. So, all my suggestion is, don't study forcefully, concentrate, and if you study properly you can win all the sciences, students, because all the sciences depends on the maths. That is the reason, put the base properly and concentrate here, so that you can find all the science subject easier. So, with this I can say 100% that maths is a subject which gives satisfaction, that to 100%, because if you solve the problem, any problem, and if you get the answer within a second or within a minute, and you feel proud. That is the reason I am saying that you can say that the maths is a 100% satisfactory subject. Hence, you can study properly and you can win all the sciences. Thank you.